Hello and welcome to this special edition and the special coverage to the latest regional developments and the war being waged by the United States and Israel against Iran and the recent developments in the Middle East, as we have seen President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi paying a number of visits to the GCC countries, more specifically yesterday to Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, and for the past couple of days as well to the United Arab Emirates and Qatar, as well as the efforts of Foreign Minister Dr. Badr Abdulati through phone calls with his counterparts from Iran, Turkey, Qatar and Pakistan for today, as well as the American Special Representative for the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, to be de-escalating the situation and to be shedding more light on those important activities by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and Foreign Minister Dr. Badr Abdulati. I'm honored to be having with me over the phone Dr. Nabil Negmeldin, the international relations expert. Dr. Nabil, thank you very much for being with us tonight on Nile TV International and this special edition.
It's a pleasure to have your invitation, and good evening to everybody.
Thank you very much once again. The pleasure is all mine. First of all, we have seen today the phone call being conducted and received by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi from the Jordanian King Abdullah II. How do you see the bilateral ties between Egypt and Jordan under the tenure of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi for the past decade and so?
The relation between Kingdom of Jordan and Arab Republic of Egypt, as good as the other foreign relations of Egypt with the other 21 Arabic countries. Egypt continues to make sincere mediation efforts to stop the ongoing war in the Middle East. And the phone call between the King and His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi was mainly dealing with such ongoing crisis.
Yes, how do you see the outcome of the visits by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, as we did see today, the phone call between President al-Sisi and the Jordanian King? It tackled the outcome of the visits conducted by President al-Sisi to both Bahrain and Saudi Arabia.
The Egyptian message is very clear, which His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has passed, that Egypt rejects the violation of the sovereignty to the GCC countries and other Arabic countries. Egypt rejects the violation of any state sovereignty, and Mr. Sisi made it clear that the security and stability of the Arab countries and the GCC countries is part of the Egyptian national security.
Yes, and during the visits to Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, President al-Sisi, for example, in Bahrain met the King of Bahrain, King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa. How do you see the importance of such a meeting and the timing of those meetings, especially the discussions that took place between the Egyptian president and the King of Bahrain regarding the security and the stability of the GCC countries and the condemnation of Egypt against the threats and the targeting of GCC infrastructure and facilities by Iran?
Regarding the timing, if we see that the president of Egypt takes his flight to the Gulf area, where the launching of missiles all the time, it means that Egypt is showing solidarity with the brothers in the GCC countries. And the meeting with the King of Bahrain, the President of UAE, and the King of the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia,
yes,
and the Emir of Qatar, it means that there is an ongoing mediation efforts between Cairo and the Gulf states from one side and Iran and other parties from the other side. Egypt is making sure that this crazy war stops, because it is going to open the gates of hell, not only for the Gulf area, but the whole world.
Yes, you mentioned the discussions taking place between the Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and the Saudi Crown Prince in Jeddah, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, as well as being the Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. How do you see the importance of sending the messages of solidarity and support on the political and the popular levels to the leaders of the GCC countries, as it did happen before in the United Arab Emirates and Qatar through visits by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi?
Yes, the President reviewed Egypt's ongoing efforts to halt the military operations and push for a return to the negotiating table. Egypt has stressed during those meetings that the urgent need for all parties to demonstrate flexibility, the Iranian side, Washington side, and the GCC countries, because President Sisi expressed his appreciation for Egypt's role. Sorry, the Iranian President, Masoud Pezeshkian, in his phone call, appreciated the Egyptian role and the President Sisi's personal commitment to the escalation.
Yes, you've mentioned the Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian, because in the past week we have seen another phone call being conducted between President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and the Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian, all to be de-escalating the tensions within the mediation efforts of Egypt. Do you think that the mediation efforts of Egypt, through the efforts of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and Foreign Minister Dr. Badr Abdulati, will be bearing fruit? Because today we have heard about the possible path for negotiations once again between the United States and Iran, thanks to the mediation of Egypt. Do you think that this is possible even on hard terms?
I'll tell you something, that the White House now has realized the muddy water which the USA has been involved in. The only winner of that adventure, bad adventure I have to call it, is the Israeli Prime Minister. But I believe very much Mr. Trump is reconsidering his stance, and he is realizing that the American people are paying a price, the universal of the world economy is paying a price. The stability in the Middle East is going to be a gate for stability all over the world. So, Egyptian role, I believe very much that there is something which is not publicized. Cairo is conducting and managing contacts with all parties, because Cairo's role is to stop that crazy war, because Cairo is highly aware that nobody's going to be a winner but Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yes, and today, upon directives by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, we have seen a number of phone calls being conducted between Foreign Minister Dr. Badr Abdulati and his counterparts from Pakistan, Iran, more importantly, Qatar, Turkey, and the U.S. Special Representative to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff. Let's focus on the phone calls being conducted between Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati and his counterpart from Iran, Abbas Araghchi, and the U.S. Special Representative to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff. Do you think that this will be the start of a breakthrough in negotiations thanks to the mediation of Egypt, as we did see the same role of Egypt in the Gaza ceasefire at the end of last year?
Okay, the Arab Gulf countries have been genuinely upset by the Iranian strikes against their targets. So, what His Excellency Dr. Abdulati is doing, he is developing the issue of United Arabic Defense Unit, because we cannot keep going like that. The Arab world is not united around one body, defense body. Again, Mr. Abdulati is telling his counterparts that Egypt will never stand and watch what's going on, because it is Egyptian historical role and historical responsibility.
Yes, and within the efforts of Egypt to be de-escalating the situation, we need to be focusing on the statements of the U.S. President Donald Trump, as well as sometimes we see conflicting statements by the U.S. President saying that the operation is winding down by the United States, especially after reaching the objectives and the targets of the U.S. within this operation. On the other hand, we have seen another ultimatum for the upcoming 48 hours by the U.S. President to be hitting infrastructure and vital energy facilities for Iran if the Hormuz Strait traffic was not systematic, it was not operating as usual, and it was obstructed by Iran.
Absolutely.
Which one should we believe?
Egypt has become more diplomatically active in recent days, aimed at heightening tensions after a wave of escalation in the conflict involving Iran, Israel, and the United States. I am quite interested that there is some sort of dialogue going on behind doors between Cairo, Washington, as well as Cairo and Tehran, because nobody is winner of this dilemma. And I believe very much Egypt has got no interest but the peace and stability in the Middle East. And this message is being sent to Washington, and I believe very much Mr. Trump needs the Egyptian hand in this crisis.
How do you see the success of the Egyptian diplomacy and the status of Egypt in general in the region to be keeping the balance? Today, we have seen the phone calls being received, one of them by the Jordanian king to President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the other phone calls being conducted by the Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati to the counterparts from Iran, Pakistan, Turkey and Qatar, as well as the U.S. Special Representative to the Middle East. So we are keeping contacts with different regional players, maybe everyone in the region. How do you see the importance of keeping such a balance within such a delicate time?
It is clear that Egypt appears to be positioning itself as a diplomatic connector, maintaining channels with Gulf states, Western partners, and Iran as well. So I believe very much after 3 weeks, now we have that war has entered the 4th week. Everybody is clear that nobody is going to win because Iran is not going to just, give up. And USA has got to sort out its foreign alliances. The NATO is not or has not responded to the invitation of Mr. Trump to send troops or to join. And I believe very much that China, Russia are watching and are not just, ignoring what's going on. So I believe that the Egyptian diplomatic contacts is going to be one of the major channels to put an end to this war.
Yes, we have seen the statements of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in the past couple of weeks on the domestic level, speaking transparently with the Egyptians. How do you see the importance of keeping the stability and the security and the understanding and the awareness of the Egyptians to be projecting the same stability externally on the regional and the global fronts as a unified front for the Egyptians?
I thank you very much for raising this delicate matter. Our internal bloc. The Egyptians should unite around the leadership because it's the big bloc. The bloc is not only in the Gulf. They are interested or they are plotting to reshape the geographical and political maps of this area. So in Egypt, we have to unite behind the leadership and we have to be highly allergic to anything which would affect the national unity of the Egyptians. That's because when people are aware of the plot, when people are united after or around the leadership, I think the leadership will have its back covered and the leadership will be able to contribute positively to this situation.
Yes, and one important point that we should be highlighting and focusing on, which is the traveling of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to Saudi Arabia, to Bahrain, previously to Qatar and the United Arab Emirates. Within those risks the security risks. What does this say about the courage, about the leadership
again, I thank you for raising this point, because it is a very, very sensitive and delicate point. Egyptian flight, presidential flight, wouldn't be going to 4 cities in the middle of such crazy war unless everybody knows the value, the credibility, and the importance of the Egyptian role. I don't think Mr. Sisi just took his flight and went to Riyadh, Bahrain, Abu Dhabi, and Doha, just like that. Everybody was aware, and everybody has been informed that this is the presidential flight number 1 is flying, so everybody has got to just, consider the importance of it.
Yes, and the messages of support and solidarity by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, by the political leadership, by Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati, and by the Egyptian people to the GCC countries, it also includes a message of Arab unity, as we need a unified front within Egypt, a solid unified front for the Egyptians based on awareness and understanding of the regional developments. We are also sending a message of Arab unity, and President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi had proposed an idea of an Arab defense regional force for the past decade, to say the least. Do you think that the recent developments happening within this month and previously in the month of June with the 12-day war could be changing the thoughts of some Arab leaders that we need this Arab unified front or Arab unified regional force?
Egyptian leadership has made it clear that Egypt has aligned itself clearly with the Gulf partners, retreating support for their security and condemning clearly attacks on their territory. And I have to tell you something, in that phone call between the Iranian leadership and His Excellency Sisi, Sisi made it clear to him, told him Egypt is rejecting the sending or launching missiles to the Gulf state, because Gulf state has not or have not been involved with this war. And I think the Iranian leadership got a clear message. But I have to tell you something else, that when USA and Israel are bombarding the strategic locations in Iran, and when those flights are coming from bases, American bases in the Gulf, it puts the Iranian leadership in a very difficult situation. The way out of this mess is to stop the war, because USA is just, is not aware that when they hit Iran from Gulf states, Iran is going to retreat again. So Egypt is working very hard to put an end to this bloody war.
Yes, Dr. Nabil Negmeldin, the international relations expert. Thank you very much for being with us tonight on this special edition coming your way from Nile TV International. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.